What's up, everybody? How we doing? Tuesday night hangout. A little bit earlier than normal, but had to hop on here, obviously, with the news. 53-man roster cut down, so we have it official. Shout out to everybody in the chat, as always. Let me know where you're listening from. I'll give you as many shout outs as possible, but we got Chris Scragg, 803 Hitman, Philly Don, Oval Power, Dakota Rupert, Philly Don, already mentioned that, Chance, Fanny, what's up, Rome, Jake Fontenot, hopefully I said that last name correctly, Complex Nugget, Harry Montoya, Carlos, what's up? How we doing, everybody? Make sure you hit the like button. It's great to be back, by the way. I know we had the video that I dropped yesterday, but was not officially here for the Friday night hangout because had the weekend with the family, the little CrossFit action. Philly on top, I appreciate you saying love the content. Try to as much as possible, but, you know, there's the lovely family, the real MVP, my wife right there, and then obviously our two kiddos. So appreciate everybody, all the well wishes and everything else. It was a blast. We had a good time. Enjoyed it. It is great to be back. Brandon Martin listening from Montana. There you go, Brandon. Jennifer, let's run it. Heck yeah, let's run it. We had a lot to get into, obviously, with the cuts, like I mentioned. Curious to get y'all's takeaways. Peter Thurman, what it do, bro? What it do? What it do? By the way, shout out also to the official sponsor of the Philly Special Show, Underdog Fantasy, who also signed James Palmer as an official reporter for Underdog. But if you're wanting to get in on a fantasy football league and you missed Thomas and mine league, which will be live drafting tomorrow, but you're looking to get into another option, I know it's not the best or comparatively, but I do have one more Underdog Fantasy League, so link in the description as well as link pinned up there in the comments. It's a 10-person best ball, $50. Anyway, if you would like to get in on that. Also, Luffy Uchiha, I believe that's how I pronounce it. I think I did it wrong the first time, but what's up, man? The shirt, yeah, shout out to Die Hard Addicts, my guy Jordan hooking me up. If you want that, I will put a link in the description for people that are watching this back, and I'll try to get to it here in a second. But if not, just go to Die Hard Addicts, use my code Philly Special, and they've got the Saquon shirt, which is obviously fire. I've also got the Cooper DeJohn one, and, you know, how can you not love that? But there you go. Harry, my team is not going down. I do appreciate the fact that you have some confidence, but my team will not be going down. We got a lot to hold up as far as last year's win. And Nate, how's it going? What's up, man? It's very exciting stuff coming as well. Tease that for now. But speaking of, also one of the t-shirts, I can't share all of it. Let's just say we have some merch in the works. But the Let's Run It shirt, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a prototype, if you will. But that's the Let's Run It shirt. I ordered it, and it didn't let me change where the logo is for the show, so it's up high too much, so it will be changed. It'll be dropped down, but about as close to what it'll actually be. So that is one official. Some of the others, we're not going to say quite yet, but I'll just leave it at exciting stuff. John M., how's it going? What's up? Philly Don, loving the shirt? Let's see. There's Cody Baird, that's a good question. Stop, John. No. And Gamer Ryan. See, we don't need to get in there. I appreciate you guys. We're not getting off on a tangent. Cody, did I have an underdog player that I was rooting for to make the roster? Yeah, that's a good question. And I'm actually interested to get other people's thoughts as well. Underdog player that you were rooting for to make the roster that maybe did or didn't. I guess you could go with either one there. As Dakota Taylor says, what do you think about Paris Campbell? Think we could sign him to the practice squad? There is one name out there. You know, I feel like Gabe Hall was the natural one because, yes, I talked about him for a long time. Like, hey, Baylor guy, sure, there's an extra special affinity. But quite honestly, the one for me that I'm excited about him making, and I had him making the roster, and a lot of guys did not. So sure, yeah, I'll pat myself on the back for that one. But Eli Ricks, my birthday bro, we share the same birthday, along with my twin brother, but we share the same birthday. So I felt like for some reason, and I know he hadn't had the best offseason, you got a lot of corners on the roster, but just looking how last season played out, I felt like even with the secondary, he would be a guy that would make the roster. And so there you go. He is officially on there. Chris Scragg says Eli Ricks and Ben Van Sumeren. William, day is going well. We got very, very busy, a little bit tired coming back from the trip, but we're good. I appreciate that. China says mine was John Ross. There's another one. Ryan asking about how accurate were the picks that I put out. I'm going to have to go back and double check, quite honestly. I haven't seen exact amount of time, but there's or exact amount of picks. I think I want to say it's maybe 3 guys that I got off of the 53-man roster, something like that. I could be wrong. I might have a little bit different, but yeah, triple pick 6 Ricks. I guess that works. I like that. We got some comments about Bradberry. Yeah, there you go. There's Bradberry that made it. That was shocking. Quinton saying EJ Jenkins. There's several, honestly. Luffy asking, wait, did Bradberry make it? He did make it. So thank you, Ryan. I got a passing grade. Cody's also with the Ben Van Sumeren. There is a chance, like you guys are saying as well, for certain guys to make the roster. I will recap. How about we do that? Because there's some people that are just catching up to it. Who made the official roster? You can find it just about everywhere. Pantalemon, I may not have said that correctly, but Bleeding Green Nation has it. There's several others. That's probably the quickest for me to pull up here. So why don't we just do that? We'll look at the official. If you have not gotten in who the official 53-man roster is, I'll pull it up here. And we'll just go through. Any surprises? Any shocks? Any positives, negatives, parts that you disagree with? And there you go. So quarterbacks, not a surprise. Several position groups weren't really a big surprise, but, Jalen Hurts, Kenny Pickett, Tanner McKee. You got your running backs, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Gainwell, Will Shipley. Again, not really a surprise. There were a very small amount that I saw of projections as well. Do the Eagles keep four running backs? Probably not, as they did not. But even thinking that at that time, everyone was similar. Only 5 wide receivers. So that I think the wide receiver spot, if we're just going in order, was the first one where there was a lot of differences of, okay, is it going to be 6? Is it going to be 5? How many guys and which ones do they keep? Tyrone, that's true. Eagles, Instagram, they posted it. Also on Twitter. I kept it on that side. But yeah, A.J. Brown, obviously, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, and then Britton Covey and Johnny Wilson. So those are your 5 wide receivers. However, the caveat of Aniyah Smith and him being on the IR. The IR set to return after week 4, which technically, there's the bye week of week 5 and the game week 6. So it gives him a little extra time. But that's the official, as of, right now, where you're looking at with wide receivers. And I understand some individuals with concern or questions of that, and it is only 5 wide receivers. However, it's kind of a little bit of like an asterisk next to it. Frank Alvarado, how much have I missed in terms of just the stream here? Not too much. We're only 8 minutes in. If you're talking about just news in general, I don't know exactly how much you know or where you're at yet. So I can't fully answer that one for you. But appreciate you hanging out. Oh, okay, there you go. All right, I saw the follow-up comment. Yeah, we're just going through it. The tweet that I was going to actually show up here too, and shout out to Zach Brown if I can get this thing to cooperate here, is the Aniyah Smith and the Howie Roseman trickery or move there. So Eagles wide receiver Aniyah Smith placed on IR following MRI results that revealed an ankle injury with an expected recovery of 4 to 6 weeks, according to a league source. Smith will be eligible to be designated for return this season. Now, also, we would thoughts and prayers for Aniyah Smith. Hope that he recovers well. Hope there's nothing serious. Although I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's part of me I don't want to say like, okay, yes, it could be a serious injury, but it feels like he played the game and then all of a sudden he said he had some soreness and maybe something in his ankle and needed to get checked out. Had the MRI. The new rules and stipulations allow you to keep 2 guys on IR that are set to return after 4 weeks. So feels like a move that Howie did of just like, hey, let's maximize this roster and make sure we don't lose a rookie. And Anaya Smith is that person. So, seeing lots of people, speaking of rookie, I do understand. Dylan McMahon, probably one of the biggest surprises as far as not making the roster. So you talk about a rookie that did make the roster in Anaya Smith, and here's the thing. I felt like Anaya Smith would make the roster, but I also felt like Dylan McMahon would. Because Ryan, yes, Anais is still an Eagle. He's on the IR. He'll be back week 4, 5, whatever. Philly fan thinks that James Bradberry will be traded. There have been rumors, I believe, to Tennessee was what I was seeing. I think somebody commented that earlier. But so far, again, getting back to the roster, though, only 2 tight ends. So as far as pass catchers go, only 5 wide receivers and only 2 tight ends. It feels like that may change fairly soon. But as of right now, those are your 2. E.J. Jenkins, that's another big surprise. Feels like you could put E.J. Jenkins, and Dylan McMahon up there. I don't know. It felt like E.J. Jenkins had done enough to make the roster. I had him on mine, so obviously that's a big miss. But maybe with the practice squad, it feels like he'll be claimed by some team. There's a potential that he ends up clearing waivers and you get him on the practice squad. But if I had to guess, I would assume that you lose out on him. However, there's also Jack Stoll, who we all remember, that the Giants cut him. So I don't know. Do you look at a potential return and have the same tight ends that we had before? Maybe. It's a potential there. Brian, I appreciate that. Yeah, hit the like button. We do appreciate the likes. Dion, we're flowing on the same wavelength there. Jack Stoll could make a return. I like it. Agent Jackson, you believe E.J. Jenkins, Ryan, surprised by E.J. Jenkins, but we believe in Howie. Yes, we do. We do believe in Howie. He's not perfect, but yes, absolutely. He knows what he's doing. Drew, who needs pass catchers? Am I right? I mean, if everyone stays healthy, we're more than fine. But the question is, okay, Dallas Goedert's had some injury concerns. Grant Calcaterra has not been able to stay healthy. And despite a good camp, has he proven anything of like, all right, he's a solid backup option? He's had very small spurts, but I don't know if he's the guy yet. So, yeah, there's some question marks on that side. Again, as far as wide receivers, you have a fantastic trio. I mean, my gosh, the fact that you got Jahan Dotson there. But if anyone were to go down, you're only looking, okay, Britton Covey, you feel like if we're just, fingers crossed, knock on wood, everyone stays healthy. If A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith were to go down, do you feel good about, I'm not trying to knock Britton Covey or Johnny Wilson, but you feel good about, oh, hey, let's insert them as far as that goes, or especially if you have to get further into that depth. It's a possibility. I think that you'll probably see a move there. At the very least, you could just see a practice squad with a Paris Campbell, if he makes it there, or signs to the practice squad, as well as John Ross. So they're not impossible, but just keep an eye on that. Frankie Ray, appreciate the 5. Said I was happy Booker made it because he deserved it, but surprised Kennard stayed with little to no fanfare this preseason. That is fair. Speaking of Thomas Booker, the Eagles kept 6 defensive tackles. So not only did Thomas Booker make it, I agree with you, he did deserve based on what we'd seen and heard, but also Marlon Tuipulotu. So you got both those guys there. Andrew throwing out the Noah Brown. I don't mind that. I actually like the Noah Brown. We're going back to the comment as far as receivers go. But yeah. Remember the conversation or the topic of, is it worth it to potentially trade for a receiver? What do the Texans have? They have a surplus, as everyone knew and knows. But because technically, if Howie wanted to, you might be able to make something work because the Texans released Noah Brown, and you've got potential there because of the similarities or the familiarity, I should say, with Kellen Moore. Yeah, Harry, I'm with you on the tiers. No Gabe Hall. But he was drafted in the first round in the USFL, right? USFL? UFL? One of those. Wade Phillips' team in San Antonio. Feel like he'll go there. TJ, I watched some of it. I haven't seen all of the Eagles rookie video, but shout out to them for the footage because that's fantastic. It would have been great to use in some of the recap videos because I was scrounging for some of those with the rookies. But yes, it was really, really good footage, really great content. The Jim Johnson bit was pretty cool. So, Anthony, I appreciate that. Yeah, the Saquon, John. Again, Noah Brown, not impossible, right? So this will be the interesting point when we've gone through the roster. You've got your 53 guys. Even the 53 here may not be the 53 whenever we get to, day one. There's still potentially some moves, a guy that you like, someone you want to sign, someone you want to move up, practice squad that gets filled out, because there's other moves coming there as well. Let's see, there's I guess as far as the official practice squad and things to be aware of, I found this tweet from, shout out to Spot Track for this one, but here you go, as far as the official practice squads and what to keep an eye on. So for 2024 NFL practice squad, 16-player max, counts against team cap, max of 10 with 0 to 2 accrued years, max of 6 with unlimited accrued time, 3 elevations per player at the minimum salary, and then obviously your breakdowns for whether they've played 0 to 2 years of the payment and whether they've played 3+. So 16 guys. That's what you're looking at. Naturally, a lot of those will be Eagles players. Some are going to get claimed. So that'll be the part that, we hope and pray some of the guys do make it back. But we'll see. Harry, if we're starting this, if Eagles win the Super Bowl, Josh should get Eagles shaved into his hair. Man, that would be. If my wife might see that and be like, no, there's no chance. I'm not totally like whatever it takes to win a Super Bowl. So if it takes Eagles being like shaved, I'm assuming the side of the head there. Yeah, maybe so. Shelf Stable Breads, Saquon merch with fire. Yeah, shout out to, again, Die Hard Addicts. I'll put a link in the description for those that are watching it back. But use the code Philly Special, get a discount off of their shirts there. And shout out to my guy Jordan. Mateo, I appreciate that. It is good to be back. Good to see everybody. Yes, the CrossFit event was good, but we're ready for the season. Philly fans saying, got to take one for the team. Sean's going with the pink mohawk guarantees the Super Bowl. Well, that would have to be, yeah, I mean, gosh, I don't know how long. That would be like a 1 day, half a day thing. Let's make playoffs first. How about, right? Make playoffs, then we can start setting up any sort of bets or anything like that. Oh no, Shelf, you got fleeced in the underdog fantasy. How is that possible? How'd you get fleeced? Let's see. Let me get to the super chat here. PJ Birds, appreciate the $5 man. Said, didn't know you were a CrossFitter. As a bonus, any thoughts on what went down at the games this year? Sarah Sig making a comeback. Yeah, I mean, that was... Honestly, I feel really bad for because being really close here in like the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But the swimming event, I mean, obviously anybody who follows probably is well aware, but just really thoughts and prayers to the family. And there was the CrossFit event that I was at was further down in Central Texas, but they had like a, support and everything for that family. But yeah, I mean, community is everything. So that's honestly like, I got into it because my brothers got me into it. And, I think that's just nothing replaces having a community and a group working out with, encouraging each other, inspiring everybody. So, I mean, the same way with like the Eagles team, but just having that community. And I feel the same way about, this Eagles community as well. So shout out to honestly everybody here, because I got a notification. There was, I guess it was yesterday. It was today, I guess, this morning. It was like we just a year ago today crossed the 15,000 subscriber mark. So in about a year, an additional 57,000 subscribers. So I can't thank y'all enough. But like I say, it's honestly, the community is everything to me. So whether that's outside of it in CrossFit, whether it's here within YouTube, the whole purpose of this channel is honestly building the best Eagles community and giving back as much as possible, which is why I try to do as many giveaways. I had maybe some trolls that were talking about that and saying we shouldn't do as many giveaways. Probably Cowboys fans, most likely. You know, they hate the fact that Eagles fandom and gear is getting out there. But like I say, just an unbelievable blessing. So try to do that as much as possible. Draco, I didn't realize it's my pick, so I do need to get that in. If it's my pick and underdog, that's my apologies. It takes longer on those long drafts, so this next one is a short one. But I will get that pick in because yes, we don't want to take up all day. So there you go. Pick is done. Yes, as far as the 53-man roster, though, and I appreciate that, PJ, but let's get back to some of the other takeaways, or at least some of the other positions for those that did not fully caught up. So again, 2 tight ends. You got offensive tackle, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, Fred Johnson, and Darian Kennard. A little bit surprising for Darian Kennard. I think that was one of them that was halfway there, halfway not. James, you want that helmet. Yeah, everybody, we're getting close. Remember the Isaiah Rodgers helmet. Seriously, I appreciate everybody. Sure, I'll answer the question as far as how am I able to do the giveaways. It is an unbelievable blessing. Shout out to official sponsor of the channel, Underdog. It is, I'll just say it very much helps. And the same thing for the other brand deals and advertisements and everything there. But like I say, having those, being able to have that ability to give back is honestly what it's all about for me. So shout out to them. And if you want to help contribute in another way, or you want to be a part of the Underdog Fantasy League too, you're more than welcome. The link is there for you, pinned in the comments, also in the description. So, but yeah, shout out to them. Appreciate the sponsors. Agent Jackson, appreciate you. As far as the guards, though, like I said, there's not many surprises from the O-line. I had 10. They kept 9. You're going to have guys on the practice squad, but really it ultimately, Brett Toth not being there, I thought they might, personally didn't really want him on that side just because we haven't seen a whole lot, but they decided not to keep Brett Toth. As far as the roster, if he clears, I would almost guarantee you he makes it on the practice squad. Dylan McMahon is just interesting because we didn't see him. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but did we really see him struggle too much? Maybe we didn't see him dominate, but I didn't see enough of a struggle based on what I heard in reports, what we saw in preseason games, and the fact that he's a rookie with a lot of athleticism. But they felt like they had enough in that situation. The potential concern or question is, I'm assuming that they're just going to be banking on who the backup center potentially could be with, I mean, like a Trevor Keegan if you had to, and maybe more realistically someone off the practice squad. But you can't guarantee that Dylan McMahon is going to reach that point. Like if I'm any team that has a partial interest in a guy like a Dylan McMahon, then I'm going to be like, sure, yeah, go ahead, give me the rookie. He hasn't proven anything to be a bust or not. Texan Eagle, I totally agree. Dylan McMahon, he will for sure. I mean, I'll be shocked. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll be shocked if he does not make it on the practice squad. But I will also be fairly surprised if he doesn't get claimed before the practice squad. Like I say, just because of the fact that he's a rookie. Looney Tunes roster feeling shaky? Come on. How shaky are we talking about? Mark Anthony, biggest surprise was Eli Ricks with poor production in the preseason. I'm telling you, there's something with Eli Ricks, even with the poor production, that they like. There's a potential chance. He would have gotten claimed, so we can be honest with that. But I think as they assessed where the Roster was, you get Fangio's input, you get Christian Parker's input, new changes there. They must have liked something, seen enough to say, you know what, if worse comes to worse, we need the extra depth there. It's worth it to keep him. And EJ Jenkins is one of those casualties. Dylan McMahon is one of those casualties. Paris Campbell, John Ross. You'll see. No, totally. I do understand. I'm not saying the roster is done. Like I said, the 53 is probably not going to be the 53 even once we get there. Saying that Howie Roseman mentioning that it's incomplete. He's never going to stop moving. He loves making moves after training camp. So I'm totally with you there. We're not done. There's another move coming as far as whether it's a signing, because you'll be, scouring the league as far as picking up guys who other teams released, but then also looking at trades. Nicholas asking EJ Jenkins, yeah, he got let go. Nate, you're going to bring up Nick Wright. Come on. Yes, Nick Wright had us finishing third and missing the playoffs, but that's just ridiculous. TJ, we have a little bit over 3,000 subs to get to the Isaiah Rodgers helmet. Got to get to 75,000. So we're getting close. Quinyon Mitchell, as far as I know, he's not changed his number yet, but 27 is available with Zach McPherson getting cut. So maybe soon. Something to keep an eye on. But yes, not completely done, certainly from the offensive side. Also with the defense. By the way, the team kept a lot more defensive players this year than last year. Or at least I think maybe two more comparatively. But again, that's two less on offense, two more on defense. So it is a difference. With the depth, Patrick Johnson played himself into a roster spot. Be curious what snaps he gets. Or how many there. Definitely within special teams. He's a good playmaker, showed some toughness, physicality. Defensive tackles, I kind of already mentioned, but you got 6 guys. So, Fangio likes to have the depth there. He said even in the press conference, he's like, we love to have as many as we can get, basically. So, not a huge surprise to get that many individuals, I guess. I assumed, though, I will say, I did assume it would be either Marlon or Thomas Booker, not both. But there you go. Linebackers, Devin White, Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and Ben Van Sumeren. Really no surprises there. Oren Burks, saw a few comments. Yes, he played well in the final preseason game. But Ben Van Sumeren is really just like your Swiss Army knife. I mean, he played fantastic. He's your best special teams player. In my opinion, he's the best special teams player. He's played solid, yes, against backups, but when he's come in and played at linebacker, he's played solid. And you just really like his athleticism. Heck, he might even play tight end, or even another fullback. Who knows? He's had opportunities in the past in college on the offensive side of the ball, and during practice they had him lined up as a tight end. So realistically, he's probably not your tight end 3, but at least he's got the versatility, right? We can give him that. Shout out for the versatility there. Again, not really a major surprise as far as who made it on the roster. I will say, and probably most everyone's up to date on this, but if you're not, there is one trade that Howie did not pull off that you've got to imagine he was at least looking into. And it's just interesting from what the compensation was, and I'll get the graphic up here in a second. We can go over it, but interesting what the compensation was, and the fact that, if Howie really wanted it, you assume he could have at least been competitive with an offer. But maybe he likes who he has, or maybe it was turned down. I don't know. We might get more info, I would assume or hope. But here you go. Here was the details from Ian Rappaport. You had Ernest Jones, linebacker from the Rams, which if there's Weedosaurus. Yep. Well, you knew who I was going to talk about. Just trying to find the picture, right? I'm just saying, as far as the compensation, it's at least worth bringing up. I know you have to pay him, but The Rams allowing him to seek a trade. The Titans have really made several different moves to help out Denard Wilson in that defense. So interesting situation with where they're going to be at. But trade official, Titans get Ernest Jones and a 2026 sixth rounder, and the Rams got a fifth rounder. So pick swap, one better, and Titans get Ernest Jones. Ultimately, sure, yeah, it may come down to that. But yes. By the way, Charles, I missed, I think, the comment earlier, but happy belated birthday to you. It's great to see you in the chat. Hopefully it was a good one. Again, I totally understand he needed to get a deal done, so that might have ultimately been it. But regardless, I mean, you can't deny that that's a... If you need a linebacker, you're like, hey, you know what, we're willing to pay you, we're willing to get a deal done with the contract, then compensation-wise, that's very little to give up to be like, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll go ahead and make this thing happen. Take a linebacker. Josh B, what's up? Nicholas liking Tristan as the backup safety. Yep, he for sure played himself into a spot. Like, I think everybody realized that. I talked about him a couple times in the videos, and then also even the live stream. He just kept showing up everywhere, all over the field, kept making plays, doing whatever he need to. There you go. Only turned 52 once. Heck yeah. Mark Anthony, your birthday was yesterday as well. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy belated. Michael Franklin, where do I get the Eagles graphic t-shirts? Yeah, that's here, let me get the link. I'm just going to go ahead and share the link for everybody because we're getting a lot of comments on that. And then you can go find it. And that way I can post it up there as well. There's like an AJ Brown and a Smitty one. Saquon, obviously, that I'm wearing. They might be sold out. Looks like they might be sold out online currently. So, unfortunately, might not be able to get that one. But there's others. So, you know, go check those out. I'll post it here, though, in the description. You might have to refresh to get to the link there. It probably won't update in real time. But as far as where that goes. There you go. All right. Updated. Good to go. Donald Rowe, what's up? Joining late, but live on phone and scrolled to beginning on TV. Okay. Nate, that's a good question. How bad do you want to be stuck on 74.5K subs? It's something that I haven't thought about as much right now because I'm just trying to, you know, get fairly close. But yeah, it's going to hit me once we're about at that point that the helmet is going to be soon to be gone. And yeah, I'm honestly, I've gotten used to like editing and looking at this during streams and everything else. I'm probably gonna have to get something to like sit right there, right? Because it now it completes it. I hadn't had anything for so long on the shelf, but now that I do, it's like, okay, I need to have something else that's gonna be there. By the way, though, for other people that are interested, there is another giveaway going on. This one is for 75,000 subs, Isaiah Rodgers signed helmet, but got the LaShawn McCoy Midnight Green signed helmet, which will go to someone on Friday night's live stream. So stay tuned for that. If you did not get in on the giveaway there, just go to the previous video. Not this one. I always get comments. This one does not count, but go to the previous video and type in Shady, and you're automatically entered. So Friday night Hangout, with the squad. Going to give that one away. And in honor, of course, of Shady being inducted into the Eagles Hall of Fame, or will be inducted into the Eagles Hall of Fame for the Sunday Night Football game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So there you go. Appreciate the 5, Jersey-born Philly fan. Heck yes, disappointed with Bradberry still being here and E.J. Jenkins being cut. There's a lot of thought along that, I will say that. It's, James, I've seen, Josh has 1,000 burner accounts. That's why he's always on late at night when I'm up taking my meds. Yeah, that is, it has nothing to do with the baby or the schedule and the kiddos or anything like that. It is literally just creating as many burner accounts as possible so that I've got as many chances to win that, or to keep that thing, to win that thing back, though. I'll be like, oh, hey, congratulations to so-and-so. And next thing you know, it's still there. A week later, a month later, people are like, what's going on? Now, we will give it away to someone officially. So, Romeo, come to the LA game. Okay. Honestly, I haven't decided. So, we're trying to figure out a good date, what works out. Edwin, we are doing the live draft for tomorrow again. So, for people that are in Thomas and mine Fantasy Football League, the one on ESPN, we will have that tomorrow. What is it, 7:45 Eastern time, I think, is when the draft will start. We'll probably go live a little bit early, but the draft will be 7:45 Eastern time. Shout out to everybody there. K. Robinson, I don't know. I'm not sure about Quinyon changing the number. There's part of me that thinks yes because he wore 27, but I also could just see him staying put. I don't know. Been back and forth. Edwin question, who do I think has more of a chip on their shoulder, Isaiah Rodgers or Devin White? That's a good question. Man, that is a really good question. I think I've probably leaned toward each person individually at some point during training camp. I mean, I don't know. I'm saying both is a cop-out, I know. So, gosh, I think, I don't know. I mean, my guy is Zay, but maybe Devin, just because of the All-Pro that he used to be and being benched, and not that Zay doesn't have anything to prove, and he might be creeping here in the comments, so he might be listening or hear this, but I think it's just more so of being written off in a way, and I don't know that Zay was necessarily. Yes, he was out for a full season, but I think it was more so just proving like, hey, man, I don't have any rust, right? But taking nothing away from my guy, but as of right now, yeah, maybe the potential of being that leader at the linebacker and what Devin White can do. But yes, both of them should be right up there. So, Charles, we do have a special giveaway, and I'm not actually sharing exactly what that will be, but there will be a special giveaway for the veterans in November, of course. That is a good expectation. So, like I say, I'm not gonna share exactly what it is, but there was something good planned. I'll just say that for giveaway in November. There we go. I said Zay, a different Zay, but appreciate the 2. Said New Eagles fan here. What should my expectation be? I'm assuming that's what should my expectation be. That's kind of a broad question, I suppose. Is that just? I'm assuming that's just in general for the team. It's cool that you're a New Eagles fan. I'm going to take that as far as just what should my expectation be for the Eagles in general. I would say the expectation is, okay, like I want to say win a Super Bowl, but like first things first, right? Like take care of the division, then take care of the conference, then take care of the Super Bowl. So first expectation I would tell you is we're going to win. Charles and others are going to get on to me. So we're going to win at least 11 games. I've said 11 initially, got talked up to 12, then 13, but it's going to be at least 11 games. And K. Robinson, Super Bowl or bust. Yes, but start out with the expectation of there's going to be excitement. This team is going to be different than last year. I'm not sure if you watched last year. I'm not sure how new. We're talking about Eagles fan, how aware of the situation that you are. But the offenses should be dominant. The offense, it might take a little bit. So, temper maybe expectations the first week or two of rust and just getting acclimated. But this team is going to be awesome. And see, there, I knew that it was going to not take very long for me to say that. I'm just trying to be cautiously optimistic with a new Birds fan here of first things first. I said at least. I didn't say only 11 wins. I'm just saying at least 11 wins. Your expectation should be at least 11 wins. And then then you can't lose, because then whenever it is 12 wins or 13 wins, it surpasses your expectation. If I say your expectation should be 13 wins and they get 12, it's not terrible, but you're kind of like, oh, dang, okay. Should have had more. Fanny's expectations of regular heartbeats throughout the season. No, that was last year. We don't want expectations this year to be that. That was last year. I can't honestly, I don't know if I can take what last year was. Last year was not good for the health, not good for the blood pressure, a lot of those situations. Yeah, hopefully not that. Gravy asking, is DeJean starting? That remains to be seen. I would imagine that it is a no. It wouldn't surprise me if later on this season he does end up starting at some point. But for right now, the base defense, based on who played where and the reps that they got within camp, it appears that Slay and Isaiah Rodgers are going to be on the outside, and you have Q on the inside. Could even, honestly, I don't know. It could be Q on the outside some. That part I don't know. I've gone back and forth based on reports. Mostly it's about Isaiah Rodgers on the outside, but Q got some reps, and then when they go to nickel, Q moved to nickel. So I don't know 100% there. Really, no one does, obviously, but that would be my assumption. And then as the season goes on, like I say, if Coop starts getting those reps and you feel more comfortable about him and they say, hey, yeah, let's move him in the nickel, then sure, maybe so. See who the safeties are. Speaking of, Sidney Brown, been getting in some reps. Looking pretty solid. Let's see, I think there's a video of him on here. Where is this? I believe this was from his Instagram. It's good that you don't have to rush him back, right? So you want to see him out there soon, but the fact that you don't have to rush him back is a good thing. And so getting in the reps, looking good, making some cuts. ACL healing quickly, but he's going to start it on the PUP list. So will not be back, at least for the first several weeks. But again, you've got some depth. Hopefully it holds up. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship. I will admit, with a lot of people, surprisingly, James Bradberry made it at safety. I did not think that would happen. I'm still not really sure that that's going to be the correct stance to take. Hopefully he proves me wrong. I don't mind saying that I was wrong, though. Again, I mean, I've said it on so many different videos, but did not think that he would be here. So, yes, I totally got that one wrong. I said he would not be here. I said I probably said, can't remember exactly. I probably said you're crazy if you think that James Bradberry is going to remain on this roster as a safety. But he is. He's on the roster, on the 53-man. Good guy, nothing against him personally. I'm just, as far as that safety depth, I did not expect that to be the case, but nonetheless it is. And Caden Stearns did not make it on the roster, which that one's very curious to me. It's just such a strange situation because remember, and we go back here looking at, we're kind of jumping ahead to safety. We can talk about corner a little bit as well, but Caden Stearns was one of those that I felt like is an automatic and probably an automatic to go onto the IR with the 4-week timeline. And he does not get that designation because you're keeping on or holding on to some guys that I guess you think more favorably of. Alberto, who had the abdomen injury, ended up getting surgery. I believe he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. I think Jeff McClain had the first report on that one. Howie can't quit Alberto. You keep him around, have some plans for him long-term, I suppose. But I don't know. Caden Stearns is one of those that when you signed him, remember, Denver let him go. The Carolinas claimed him, and then he didn't pass the physical. And so then he, is back out there for teams to sign. And then Philly signs him, and It's like, okay, you already basically knew the situation here. And Fangio even said, yeah, it will be a couple weeks before he can even get out there. So you knew that. And yet he's not here on the roster. So I would have assumed that they knew that, and it was an automatic, yep, he's going to the IR. You have plans for him. I don't know. Maybe there's a chance of something later on down the line, but just kind of a curious situation altogether with that one. But we'll see. Sidney Brown getting better, getting back. And again, great time from Andrew saying Sidney Brown will replace Bradberry when healthy. There's another one, a term of endearment for our friend JB. There's got a lot of those. And then, let's see, there's another one here. Albert, what's up, man? Appreciate the 2. Said, hi, Josh. Happy birthday, 53 to me. Eagles Super Bowl is my wish. Let's freaking go. Okay. Well, happy birthday to you. Everybody else give you a shout out. Happy birthday. They do need to give you a Super Bowl. So hopefully that's the case. And Charles, I'm just seeing your comment here, but they did not, I believe if we're talking about Caden Stearns, Sidney Brown is on the pup, but as far as Caden Stearns, he is not on the reserve injured or physically unable to perform, anything like that. So there we go. See, James, I admitted it, though. I was going to say, I've probably said that people were crazy if James Bradberry would make it. And your jersey will continue to be used. Yep. Good for you. I did not believe that. Sidney Brown is on the pup. Again, I'm seeing some of those comments. But Frank from Philly, what's up? How's it going? Yes, back week 6. After the bye week on week 5. Excited about that one. But the Eagles made kind of their decisions clear, quite honestly, especially like the direction of the roster. Getting younger. Howie had mentioned that. Shout out to Jamie Kimsky for the note on the Eagles' age year by year. But this year is the youngest team average age since 2012. Granted, if you take a look at the numbers there, I know several of those are very, very close. You're talking about a 10th difference. But still, youngest average age roster since 2012. You turn it over, a lot of different spots. Had some vets retire, so yeah, that makes a difference. But 25.6 years old. I don't actually know. I think Jimmy was going to post this later as far as where that ranks in terms of NFL ages, but it's definitely young. So does the youth pay off? Does the movement there change? Granted, it's 0.4 difference from last year. You haven't had any in the 27s, but still made the effort to get younger. And that's where they're at. So let's see. James. There we go. Okay, there's the 5. McMullen said that he's oh, that's it. Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, non-football injury designation will move to IR automatically after making through waivers as expected. Okay, yes. But again, he's got to make it through waivers, right? So that was the other part that I just assumed you wouldn't even do that. But I guess the fact that he's not he wasn't signed by anybody or claimed by anybody else, like Carolina did and then released him. So I assume that they're thinking they can just go ahead and get that through. But I appreciate that. Lewis Green, Eli Ricks, didn't see much from him. Rather have Jones for specials. Ace Flame, appreciate that. CrossFit competition was good. Good chance to get some exposure there. It was the first one, so It was good. Yeah, I figured, James, you were talking about Caden. So good extra info there. I was going to say the non-football injury, but didn't know as far as, so assuming he clears waivers, I mean, it would be surprising, I guess, if a team claimed him and then the Eagles aren't able to get him. I would assume that they would be surprised by that because they clearly had plans with him. Marquis said, I better not see Ricks at corner. Yeah, I mean, the only reason that he plays, obviously, is if you have injuries. So you're getting him for the depth there. They believe in him enough. But yeah, if all things go right, then you're looking at Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, Quinyon Mitchell, Keely Ringo, Cooper DeJean. I mean, all those guys are going in ahead of him. So he is 6th at that option. But if you had to, you're able to insert him there. I felt like you'd probably keep an Eli Ricks, which is why I had him on the roster. And there they are. Lewis Green asking, surprised about anything on the roster. Yeah, I mentioned it a second ago, but still somewhat surprised. EJ Jenkins didn't make it. It's only 2 tight ends. So again, you're clearly, to me, I mean, 5 wide receivers and 2 tight ends. Like, you're probably going to get at least one of those, I would imagine, onto the roster, like another one. Maybe I'm wrong, but that was a big surprise. And then also the Dylan McMahon. Surprising for a rookie because we had not heard him struggling or any major concerns. And the fact that when you look at the roster here, like, who is that backup center? I don't know. It's a little bit alarming if you think about, yes, hopefully Cam Jurgens stays healthy, but if he were to get hurt, like, who is your automatic go-to? They're going to add guys to the practice squad. We said that a second ago. But it's meaningful snaps for someone who is snapping the football. Like, yeah, I would be curious to know who that backup option is. Now, I'm sure they have a plan with who they released and who they hope to sign to the practice squad, but the fact that your draft pick who barely got to see any action is, I guess, not worth it enough to say, all right, well, let's go ahead and move that one on or move on from him. That's probably, one of the bigger surprises for me. Let me make sure and get Elbert's super chat here because I think I've looked past over it. But Elbert, appreciate the 2, said we should have cut Bricks and kept Jenkins. Well, they decided not to. I don't know if that's just a typo or if that's his actual nickname you're going for, Bricks. But obviously know who you're talking about there. Easton saying EJ Jenkins tight end 3. I don't know that he makes it back on the practice squad. I really think that he'll get signed. I mean, wouldn't he be there? Right? Like, if you're looking at him, what you saw on tape, he improved his blocking. Former wide receiver, so you like what you've seen from the potential threat in the passing game. It feels like you're going to have a team. Granted, he was also on or available out there last season for quite a bit, so maybe not. But it will be interesting, yes. Let's see. Oh, yes, Weedosaurus, I appreciate. Andrew, I am in Dallas, and Thomas is in Atlanta, so... Larry Love, appreciate the 5, says James Bradberry must have a market and how he's playing a numbers game. He does not like me to be wrong with money, and he's going to push the market. Maybe. There's rumors of teams potentially being interested, but I don't know. Hanging on there. I know that he's costing something, so... And, what team's going to sign up to take on that contract if you're trading him away in that situation? It was really kind of funny and crazy. I talked about it a little bit in the last video, but Dallas being rumored of, hey, potentially James Bradberry, linked to James Bradberry could make some sense with the Bland injury and things on that side. But I think it's, something where he's obviously got the plan, and he did say that way back, I think, even the combine, and he's like, yeah, we've got plans for JB moving forward. But it's just been a strange roller coaster of kind of up and downs of, Howie making that statement, and then James Bradberry coming back and talking about, I'm here for right now, but we'll see, and just being not very definitive, which understandable. Yeah, it's a business, and you could get traded, but it did seem kind of crazy where that one was at. Let's see, Delirium. Appreciate the 5. They call me crazy, but I can't get this vision out of my head of Bradberry. Wow, okay, Bradberry making a huge play to win the Super Bowl or something and getting the Foles treatment. I mean, if he made let's say there's an injury or something, because I don't know where he's starting. So injury, he's got to play. He makes a pick or something. Yeah, if he did that, he would forever be forgiven. People would be like, all right, you're good. All's well that ends well. JB did that. I don't know if we're going to get that, quite honestly. I again, nothing against JB. And he, as of right now, he's on the roster. He may end up staying on the roster for the entire season. But I won't say never. I'm doubting it, but I won't say never, because who doesn't love a good underdog story? And you know what? Hey, if JB's called upon and he makes a great play, good for him. Not writing him off. He could do that. He could show us something. Fangio said he's been picking up the safety spot pretty well. Maybe he's able to turn it around there. I'll just be the main surprise if he gets called into action for this or asked to make a lot of tackles is tackling. I mean, can he be physical? Can he tackle? Have we seen it enough consistently to be like, oh yeah, that's your guy? I prefer for at least one of my safeties, and I know C.J. Gardner-Johnson is this, but I prefer for one of my safeties to be that, lower the boom. So, not saying JB has to be that guy if CJ's there, but if he's not, then, if he's serviceable enough in coverage and he makes some plays and he doesn't miss a crazy amount of tackles, if he makes some tackles, then I don't know. But it is only a depth signing, and you assume that whenever Sidney Brown gets back, that he's also being inserted into the mix. If Caden Stearns ends up somehow coming back around or making it through waivers and is on the IR situation, then maybe he's another potential there. So, yeah, I mean, he's one of those further on down the list with the depth chart. But we'll see. James, appreciate the 20 bomb. Let's go. Said, for people that don't watch Nick Waters, and by the way, people should be watching Nick Waters. Shout out to Nick and the Philly Film Room. But saying he explained why it'd be dumb to cut Bradberry even if they hate him, because his cap hit next year would be equal to what Howie paid for Huff and Barkley. So you keep and not sacrifice future for now. I get it. I mean, honestly, that's the only thing that semi held on or kept me thinking there's a possibility as far as him not. But it's where I kept leaning towards anyway. David Moore, what's up, man? Said, Josh, were you most surprised about 53-man roster? Yeah, I answered a couple times, but no worries for just joining. Biggest, probably 2 surprises. Felt like E.J. Jenkins had a shot. And then really the biggest one was Dylan McMahon. Not making the roster. Rookie. Who's your center? Who's your backup center? Hadn't heard struggles. So like I said a second ago, Dylan McMahon, probably the biggest out of those for the surprises on the roster. Even outside of, you could name Thomas Booker. I did think that he was going to make it. I don't know if there were any others. I thought Eli Ricks would make it. I didn't think I thought James Bradberry would make it for the Eagles' sake. I personally didn't have him on my roster, if I was going to choose it, I didn't. But, yeah, ultimately I would say for sure Dylan McMahon. Larry Love, appreciate the 5. The 5 more says, this money, the money is already dead on us logically. It only makes sense to cut him, but only if there is buyers. It's the only thing that makes sense. If you've got buyers, then I think that some of the reports, and it's hard to know, right? Because you got some rumors and speculation, but some of the reports were that they were trying to shop James Bradberry, see if there's any potential trade partners, and they weren't able to get someone to bite. So you don't know if that's, I guess you don't know for sure who all was involved and like how serious were those, because you could basically say that about Howie every single time. Like, say it here at roster cutdowns, say it at the trade deadline, say it around the draft. Like you could not be an insider at all. You could be just some random person and be like, granted, it's maybe like a non-source, but you could say like sources say that Howie Roseman may or may not be making calls. Like, I mean, that's a given. So he is doing that, and everyone I think understands that. But I guess the question would be, how serious were those? But yeah, I mean, if you actually had a legit buyer, I think that they would very much look into it and be interested as far as getting a deal done. Biz Money Scott to the Steelers practice squad. Did Boston Scott go there? Good for him. Let's see. Make sure on that one, but I'm assuming that is who it was. There you go. Yeah, Boston Scott to the Steelers practice squad. Good for the Giant Killer. Shout out to Jordan Schultz for that one. Kai, appreciate you. Says Josh for MVP. Go Birds. Go Birds. Frank from Philly using the trash for Bradberry. There you go. It is always makes me laugh. Just the differences for the thoughts on Bradberry and how much of an impact or how much of a non-impact that they could make. So Pro Fan Talk, what's up, man? Says Bradberry will be an in-season trade once the injuries hit around week 7. Possibly so. Again, you can't discount the fact that if you have some depth there and teams are actually needing it. My theory, and again, this is totally not, officially reported by any sources or anything like that, but my theory was like, all right, hey, you hold down for James Bradberry. Maybe there's an injury. Maybe there's some depth issues with the team around camp, and then you possibly make a trade. Didn't happen. But sure, if you do it in the regular season, maybe someone's willing to make a move if they really need somebody. I guess we'll see. We were talking about, got off on Boston Scott, but speaking of Boston Scott going to the Steelers, Quez Watkins got released. So as far as receivers go, if you were interested in Quez's future in Pittsburgh and where he would go, he did not make the roster. He was released. All right, let's see here. We're going to get into a little bit more of the rosters. Like I said, any major concerns, or I guess are there any biggest concerns for you? We talked about Bradberry. We talked about the surprises, but any of the biggest concerns still with the roster, especially Howie Roseman saying that or kind of alluding to the fact that they're not exactly done. Do you think that there's another move coming? What position would that be? Realistically, who would you want that to be? And any other questions? Also, going to draw for a jersey, any jersey of your choice. Drawing for the winner of that here in just a second from the previous video earlier last week. And I missed that again on the Friday night live stream, the Friday night Hangout, because I was gone for the CrossFit competition, but we were going to give that away. So all you got to do is be subscribed to the show, subscribe to the channel, and have commented back on the Nakobe Dean video. Nakobe Dean is in the thumbnail and in quotations, "I'm better," as in reference to his "I'm not back, I'm better." Who knows? Maybe Nakobe ends up playing into a starter role within the linebacker spot. As Breaking says, lack of wide receiver depth and linebacker. Biggest concerns there. Biz Money, backup center. That has all of a sudden become a little bit of a concern. Also another wide receiver and tight end. MBV, edge rusher and tight end. Frank from Philly. Yes, any jersey of your choice. Whoever wins it. I'll draw that here in just a second. I'm getting that one prepared and ready to go. Fanny, question of no RB4. I don't know if that's a concern or if just a question in general, but it's okay, right? I mean, yeah, if you have injuries, automatically you start wondering who's that going to be, but I assume that they're going to have, I mean, they'll naturally have one or two guys on the practice squad, but seeing some of the positions that you were wanting more depth at or needing to sign, it's fine. RB3. This is not going to be as long as Saquon's healthy, but this is not going to be as much of, at least I feel like it won't be as much of like a running back by committee approach. Instead, it's going to be like, Saquon's the guy. Obviously, you pay him to be the guy. So maybe they feel like, hey, we don't need 4, where traditionally we would have had more of a committee approach, and you need those guys. Marquise, yes, on a couple moves. Okay, there you go. All right, I'm going to do this drawing here in just a second. I will share the link here in the chat real quick so people have it. There you go. Lewis, yes, we were talking about Ernest Jones a second ago. Ernest Jones for a 5th is definitely a steal. That is a good trade for the Titans. Good for them. Yes, Isaiah Rodgers is definitely going to have an impact. I will say that for sure. Not doubting it. Larry Love, appreciate the 2 more, man. Says complain about our linebackers, but remember Nate Gary. That's Nate Gary. Frank, you got a shot, bro. There's just I mean, there's a lot of entries, so I can't guarantee anything. But iLife Media practice squad has not been announced yet. They'll start making claims and official on a lot of guys tomorrow. So we don't have any official finalization, at least of the 16. So I'm very curious, though, to see this team. Obviously, we've got, let's see, I think did the link. Yeah, if you click on the link, I mean, I'll share it one more time. But if you want to get in on the giveaway, any jersey of your choice to the winner, you just got to click on the link there. It'll take you to a different video. You type in Fly Eagles Fly, and you're automatically entered. Let's see, 1900 product. Let's see. You're saying no way to link into your tie into your league. Do you have money deposited, or do you have money in your account with Underdog, or is it gone? As if you paid for something already? Because if you just downloaded and insert a deposit, then you should be able to go and click on the link, which will allow you to sign up. Josh B, everyone go delete your comments so I win. Fanny, Isaiah being used as a punt returner, I highly doubt it. I feel like Britton Covey, Britton Covey, that's his job. He's going to be the punt returner. A good one at that, but he will definitely be the punt returner. The only way Isaiah gets there is if he, you need some extra depth, or I don't know, you have to give him a breather, or hopefully we don't have any injuries, but if something like that happened. Let's see. There we go. Mark Anthony, you're back. You just put the entry in. Heck yeah. If we, yes, is it Jeko? I'm not sure if I said that name correctly, but yes, if you've already commented, you don't need to go and say it again. You're good to go. All right. I give it like one more minute, and then I'm going to spin the randomized spinner. Alex, the giveaway is announced here in just a second. John, no worries. No time to manage a team this year. Too much work for you. That is perfectly fine. Actually, that's honestly why I've started doing a lot more. Yes, like, okay, there's twofold, right? Underdog is the official sponsor of the channel. So sure, I'm using Underdog because I used them before. So let me just clarify. I did use Underdog before, but now they're the official sponsor of the channel. So I'm doing several leagues there. But the cool part is at least that theirs you don't actually set the lineup. It's a best ball league. So it's you draft, you try to get as much depth as possible, and then maximizes your lineup every week for you. You don't have to set it. So I could do like several of those as opposed to in the past I've done like, feels like 5 or 7 fantasy football leagues. But yeah, but at the same time I could see it because some people are like, well, but I want to be able to set my team and do waivers and all this other stuff. So it's a give and take on both, which is why I do have both sides. Play the best ball and Underdog, and also do, I've got like an ESPN league, a CBS league, a Yahoo league. Seems like I got like one of each, maybe like 4 of them. So yes, it's definitely easier. It's automated. You literally do the draft, and then you could check in on it all throughout the year, but you don't have to actually set a lineup. So some people like it, some people are like no, which I totally get. But I've got both of those. All right, just a few more seconds here. Last chance for people getting in on the comments, or on the last video, I should say. John, my opinion of the Eagle Eye podcast. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Rube and Dave. Great insight. Love the fact that they recorded I think it was every single episode after camp. All right. Mark, we didn't actually do it yet, so apologize, but that is a little bit of fake news there. You have not been selected yet. Maybe you win here now. We'll see. All right. Let's get this ready. Getting the comments. Chris, we're giving away any jersey of your choice. Whatever you want. Let's see, we've got almost 1,200 comments. And here we go. Oh, yeah, I've actually got a sleeper league that I'm doing also. So I feel like I've done just about one of each, which is maybe too many, but there is a chance. Yes, John, there is a chance. For everybody wondering, you do have a shot at this. It might be small, but there is a chance. Okay, sharing the screen. Good luck to everybody. Here you go. Who will it be? And we have winner Hunter Gonzo, I believe is how I would say that. Congratulations, Hunter. I don't know if Hunter's on the chat. I don't believe that I saw Hunter. Maybe earlier? Or was it a different Hunter? Not sure. Not 100% sure here yet. But there you go. Congratulations. You won in about 1,200. So let me know. I'm going to post it, as always, on the community page. I will tag you as well. You'll have 1 week to claim your prize, any Eagles jersey of your choice. Just let me know which player. Obviously, I also need a screenshot of you and your account and everything so I can verify your info. But if you do not get back to me within a week, then we'll give it away to someone on the stream here. So next Tuesday night live stream, there could be a chance to give that one away. Weedasaurus is saying that's a bot, and there's usually some rigged comments. But Elbert, one more. Well, not for the. He said Johnny Cage's. Who the hell is Hunter Gonzo? I don't know. We'll see. If he doesn't claim it, like I've already told you guys, we will give it away to somebody else. We'll do it for someone who's actually live on the stream Although you guys have been on it a little bit more recently, because it used to be where there'd be occasionally someone who did not claim it, and then all of a sudden we give it away to somebody. But over the last, 7 or 8 giveaways, it's been claimed within like the first day or two. So congratulations to Hunter. Hopefully you get it. If not, it'll go to somebody else. And then also Friday, we'll be giving away the LaShawn McCoy signed helmet. So stay tuned for that. Friday Night Hangout. Also the Hangout for members, which if you've not gotten in on that, as long as you're Hungry Dogs here or higher, then we got the Zoom call. So every last Friday of the month is the Zoom call. So we'll look forward to that. But probably do another, 5 or 10 minutes here. Any last minute Q&A, topics, anything there? James is saying it picked it wrong again. Apologies. It just keeps making those mistakes. Also, by the way, I know I've said this before, but members of the channel, you get access to the game ticket giveaways, which we'll have throughout the season. So I'm actually strongly considering, we might try to do, we'll see how this plays out, but we might try to do like after every win. This may sound crazy, but again, thanks to the sponsor, I feel like I'm, required to say this every single time. Thanks to the sponsor, Underdog Fantasy of the Philly Special Show, that we might do a giveaway for game tickets after every time that the Eagles win. I don't know. Stay tuned on that. We haven't officially confirmed to it, but might try to give away tickets if after every win, maybe do that on a giveaway for the following video or the recap. Stay tuned on that one, but that would be for members only of the chance there. iLife, no fantasy slots open for mine and Thomas's, but there are fantasy slots as far as the Underdog Best Ball. So the link up there, $50 Fantasy Best Ball League. I knew that was coming. Charles, how many wins? Angel, a giveaway every week. John M, at least 17 times then. Love you guys. That's, see, Charles said at least 13. I knew that somebody, that was going to be at least 13. Well, see, Paul, here's the thing is, too, and there's another 17. He says, do you have the funds to give away? So if I did that, it would have to be 2 tickets for every, so it'd be 34, right? If my math is correct. Because nobody wants to just go by themselves. So you got to do 2. We'll see. You guys, yes, I know it. 13, at least 13, so at least 26 tickets. Granted, last year we gave away 12. And easy, that's a good point, because if we go into the playoffs, then, you got 20. So, I don't know. But again, that's the special perk of the members, and also a few subscriber giveaways, but especially for the members, the OGs. Paul, I do not. I do not have deep pockets, but that would only be, and the reason I'm saying maybe is considering where the sponsors go. So, contacting the sponsors and seeing where that is about it. See, as Ollie says, Rip, this channel's about to go broke. All of a sudden, yeah, the mic will not be here. The sign's going to be pawned off. The helmet already has to be given away, but maybe that one gets sold too. Can't do, I might have to, that's a good point. Angel, that's a very good point. I might have to do a little caveat for Super Bowl tickets. It's already pricey enough for playoff tickets, but we do Super Bowl tickets. Not sure we can swing that. Well, I think that's what I was thinking. 2 tickets for every win. That was the thought. Got to see about the sponsor for that one. So, never say never, Frank. You might get it. Edwin, the 16-man league, yes. We were going to announce that tomorrow during the draft, but that's a good question. It's 90% I believe is what we landed on. So 90% of the pot is for first place, and then second place gets 10%. It's either that or I'm going to have to double check with Thomas. It's either 10% for second or it's second wins their money back, and then first gets all the remaining. It's very, very steep payout for first place. So either way, it's 10% or money back for second. Joel, I appreciate that. Ollie says, I think that's fair. Make it regular season only. Yeah, we try to do whatever we can there. Elbert, in honor of the Philly special, do you think you can get Nick Foles on here for an interview? Gosh, I don't know. I work the connections as much as possible, so we'll see. I never thought we'd have BG on for an interview. Zay hanging out several times, which, that was legit. So maybe it's not impossible, but I guess. I appreciate that, Edwin. Yeah, you can just hold on to it. All right. Any last questions? Any change of topics for the roster cuts? Like we're saying, was surprising. I like that. If you ain't first, you're last. It's a good motto to live by. iLife, probably not a recap show for the Fantasy League each week. That would get really, really difficult on top of all the other recaps. I probably can't promise that. We could discuss it on the lives probably, but it's quite a bit. James, I'm in total agreement with you. Yes, that's why I say the only way that works is talking to the sponsor. So that's why I'm saying it's a possibility. We got to get the go ahead from the sponsor. Let's see. Ollie, thoughts on the bye week? Beneficial? Is it beneficial or more hurtful to the team? That is a good question. Probably, I don't love the early bye week. I don't know that a lot of people do. I'm trying to be optimistic about it. It could help you if you've had like some growing pains, a slow start, get reset, things like that. But probably a little bit more hurtful just because if it were later in the year, it usually seems like, okay, we've got some injuries. We could use the break, get healthy, get rested for that final push into the postseason. You won't have that as much. But if you win the games you're supposed to, then hopefully, you get the final week off already because you don't have to play the Giants for, hopefully you're resting starters in the Giants game. So possibly. Albert, let's see. Out of everyone who got cut today, who would you love to see the Eagles pick up? That's a good question. I would probably lean towards, I might say Noah Brown. I don't know. There's several guys out there, obviously. You still have to figure out the wide receiver situation though, because again, then you pick him up. Does he stay on the practice squad? Are you signing him to move a different guy? So it's not. I don't know. I kind of go 50-50 because I liked him as a potential if you were to trade someone that you felt like, okay, hey, we got to cut him anyway. So maybe. Wide receivers, interesting. Michael, have you seen cuts through the NFL, Josh? I've seen some. I don't know if we're talking about specific ones, but I've seen a decent amount and on Twitter and everything else. Nate, CrossFit thing, we did well. It was a good showing. First event, first competition, trying out something like that. So it was good. My brother had a little bit of an injury, but he's okay, thankfully. But just to show up there, get the experience was good. Made it to the finals. Didn't podium. Thought we might have a chance. But like I said, it was good experience. James, I'm fine with that. Yeah, get IR and BG to swing a Nick Foles or Jason Kelsey appearance if they can make that happen. David, what game am most worried about this season? That's a good question. Most worried about? Probably Baltimore, at least in terms of difficulty. Although I could also say Dallas in Dallas, only because we just don't beat them in Dallas. I hope that this is the year. It could be. But I don't know. I guess I could also say the very first game in Brazil. It's going to be a difficult one. I think more so even than like a win or loss. I know that a win is, very important, but I think it's like, hey, can you show up ready to play? Is it a totally different team? Do you have a lot of promise? Do you show a lot of promise? At the same time, it doesn't mean everything because, the winners last season of the Super Bowl lost their opener to Detroit. Not that Detroit was a slouch or anything, but just, they lost their home opener. So, I don't know. You got a couple others. CK, I am not going to lose the draft tomorrow. We're going to be good. Matt, I look like Claude Giroux, really? Let's see. King Izzy, are you happy with 4-1 record when we reach the bye week? I'd take that. Obviously, you want a 5-0, but I'd take a 4-1 for sure. Andrew, the real question, who do we cut if we sign Brown? I don't actually know. I'd need to do some more checking on that. Charles, I did not get a participation medal, nor would I have wanted one. If they'd given me one, we would have thrown that away. I don't believe in any sort of participation trophies. So, did not get one, though, nonetheless. Cheese, which player most excited to see this year? Gosh, there's a lot of them. Probably, I guess Saquon, right? Like, I've got the shirt on, and Jose asking where'd I get that? Die Hard Addicts? I don't think they have it, actually. I tried to look it up, and there is a link in the description, but it appears that they may be, or actually, yes, you're right. It'd be 4-0. I said 4-1. That makes sense. 3-1 or 4-0 in the bye. I was just reading the comments. So, but yes, it looks like they're sold out on the Saquon, but probably Saquon, even though we've seen him like the Eagles open practice and training camp, but to see him actually in an Eagles jersey in a meaningful game, probably got that. All right. Albert, do I think AJ Smitty, Saquon will have 1,000+ yards each? Yeah, I think so. Only way that doesn't happen is with injuries. David, Jalen's not going to hit anybody with it behind the back. It's cool. It's whatever. It's a trick pass, but it's nothing fundamental about that, and you really should never try that. Good for Mahomes, but it's really pointless and meaningless. Yeah, good for him, but he's never going to. If he did, it'd be like a little dump off screen pass. I don't know, like hit Goddard with it or hit Smitty. Who knows? But he's never going to. Like that will not happen. All right. Like she says, yes, only Pat does that stuff. And it was the preseason, so it didn't matter. Is he really going to do that? Yes, Charles, we will revisit the record after the first game. So I'll probably be feeling better after that once we get the win. But I appreciate all you guys. Y'all know that. Congrats again to Hunter Gonzo, I believe is the last name. But Hunter hit me up on the community page. I'll also tag you. Make sure to claim your jersey. If he does not, chat, you guys know. We'll give it away to y'all. Somebody in the chat. During the live stream on Tuesday. But also more giveaways to come. More videos. Stay tuned. Eagles play a meaningful football game in about a week and a half. And also, we will have probably a Thursday night live stream next week. So Friday night this week, Thursday night next week, since the game's on Friday, which will probably have my twin brother on it, so who is a Packers fan. So just a little heads up there for people that are looking to attend. But appreciate it. Enjoyed it with the Hangout. Eagles officially have 53-man roster cut down made. interesting with a few of the guys. See who they get tomorrow. Start claiming to the practice squad. But we'll see you guys. Go Birds.